Tricks Talk. We're going to talk about the Egg Crack Challenge.
Says so right up there.
Right. And so we don't bore people over on YouTube, which may be tuning into this. We're just going to show it to you real quick.
Yep.
So we have this little diagram, and it's got two cross lines. In the lower right-hand quadrant, you'll see it says, "What's our shared purpose?" So Phil, what's the Egg Crack Challenge video, the original video?
I did.
I will ask him. And I take it, Phil, that from what you told me, it was a father and son.
Father and his 8-year-old son.
Okay, and what was their shared purpose? Because that's the first question in the lower right.
That's a good question. Now, in terms of what he said or the prank or what he said afterwards. Now, what they said afterwards, I would say if I were the father and the son, the shared purpose was having fun.
Okay, there we go. So having fun.
So we could put that
But
right here if we wanted to.
Okay, but how did he engage the 8-year-old?
Well, the way that he went about moving toward fun was he told his 8-year-old son that they were going to do like a cooking baking project together, and he was going to post it up on TikTok.
Oh, so he lied to his son.
Yes.
Just
about the project.
About the project.
The TikTok he did not lie to his son about. And his son was all in. He's all smiles. He's there with his dad.
Ready to go
got
on
all
TikTok.
their equipment.
But the shared purpose was to cook.
Yes.
Cook something.
Bake
They were going
to make something.
They were going to bake something. Okay. And so then
baking.
And then during this baking process, so it really started off baking.
Yeah, so they're up here.
So
put them at the top.
So the shared purpose, though, was baking. We're going to cook together. We're going to bake something together. Okay.
Making together, baking together.
Okay. And so eventually, of course, that requires measuring this and that, and cracking a few eggs.
Well, they needed ingredients for the baking.
Ingredients, okay, and so that's where this egg crack comes in. And then, So what happens when they go to crack eggs?
Well, he takes the egg. He says, "Okay, we have to crack some eggs," and he takes the egg.
So Dad takes the egg.
Yep, and the son's sitting there, all smiles.
Okay.
And he takes the egg and he cracks the egg on his son's forehead.
Okay. And that's where the Egg Crack Challenge comes to life.
Exactly. It's activated.
Okay, it's activated. And that is uploaded as a TikTok video.
Yes.
And then it goes viral. And I take it other people have done this same scenario?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Okay, so the scenario starts off, you lie to your child.
Yes.
About what you're going to be doing, which is we're going to bake together.
Right.
And then you switch directions and crack an egg on their head.
That's it.
Oh, I guess so. The shared purpose is we're going to bake something, and I guess an implied shared purpose was we're going to have fun.
Yeah. He said afterwards, we're a pranking family. That's one of the things.
Okay, so they're a pranking family. So do you think this has been tried in not pranking families?
I would say, we're contextualists. So, okay, I'm willing to say that in his case, in his family, if they're a pranking family and they enjoy pulling pranks on each other, so be it.
So be it.
But it seems that based on the comments that it incurred and the passing around of it, yeah. And Linda said she's seen it on. So there's Linda, right?
I have not. I can genuinely interview about this because I haven't seen it. Don't know
exactly right.
It. But I do know this diagram where we do shared purpose. By the way, in the lower left is where yucky stuff is.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to, in the upper part of the diagram, when you're doing behaviors to achieve the shared purpose, those go in the upper right. But if you got yucky stuff like fear in the lower left, and you're doing something to reduce the fear, those behaviors go in the upper left. So in this case, the stated purpose is we're going to bake and have fun.
Yep. Yep. Fun.
For sure, bake, and I guess it implied we're going to have fun.
Well, they look like they were, some was looking forward to some enjoyment, would be my guess.
But then it goes out, and so but it has to start with a lie.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It has to start with some deceit.
Deceit, right. Okay. So it starts with that. Is that what some of the comments are about, that it starts with deceit?
There were a few of those comments.
Okay. Well, that's just the way it goes. If in this particular gag.
And that's exactly what the father has responded. You nailed it.
Okay. And so some people have condemned this.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I guess, one, they don't like lying to your children.
Apparently not. That's not, by and large, that's the big thing.
Maybe not a good thing to be teaching your children.
That's exactly the sentiment. Okay. With the naysayers, let's say.
I can see what the naysayers. The other is that well, I'll put it this way. I thought about this. He was 8.
Yep.
If somebody had fooled me and cracked an egg on my head when I was 8 years old, oh, and that's as handy. I'm 68 now. I would still be looking for revenge.
Oh, yes.
Yes. I do not take that kind of stuff well.
Well, it's interesting you say that, because there's been a range of responses on the part of the person who has been getting cracked over the head with the egg.
Right. And what's that range of responses?
Well, anywhere from they chuckle, they laugh, to they immediately pick up an egg and they smash it on their parent. And some of them just get to hitting and kicking.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Oh, so there's not one universal response.
Apparently there is a range.
Quite a range of responses. So people go into this figuring it's going to be ha ha ha.
Well, they're heading for this.
They're heading for
this. For fun.
Because the baking doesn't happen.
I don't see any TikTok where they actually complete any making of anything.
Nothing gets made. So it's all, so we're gonna bake, ha ha, crack the egg, ha ha.
Ha ha ha.
The end of it. It goes
Wasn't that fun?
It goes up on, but not everybody is having fun.
Clearly not.
But some are. I'm not denying, some are.
There are people that say, great prank, looks like fun, blah, blah, blah. Right.
Okay, cool. But from our point of view, folks, it's that you have this discussion. When two people get together, they have a shared purpose. Period.
Down here.
They have one.
Right.
I mean, instantly. If you get on a bus, and there's a bus driver on the bus, you have a shared purpose.
Yeah.
Period.
And also, you kind of know you're getting on the bus. You have some idea where the bus is going. Like you and the bus driver and other people on the bus, you all agree this is the bus that's going to Poughkeepsie.
So there's a shared purpose, and there's this cooperative. Here's
how we're going to get there. Here's how we're going to get there.
We're going to cooperate.
Yeah.
To Poughkeepsie.
Right.
Okay. So there's always a shared purpose, and so
Right.
we ask that. We use a diagram and ask that question, and then it's how are we going to go about achieving the shared purpose? Now, if everybody isn't in on the shared purpose, that's where the problems are.
Bingo.
That's
Your
the problem.
choice has effectively been stolen as to whether or not you want to participate in said shared purpose.
Right. So
'Cause if
now,
I get on the bus and they say, "Well, this is the bus that's going to,"
well, if they said ha
yeah,
ha ha, you thought this was the bus to
exactly. This is not the bus. Yeah. No, we're going to Erie. What?
and
Fooled you.
you're gonna be on your own when you get there.
Yeah.
So,
Ha ha.
ha ha. Yeah.
Right.
So you see what we mean. There's scenarios like that where you would not find it at all amusing.
No.
And so this is the case where some people might, well, but it's contextual. And so in a prankster family, the kid at 8 probably instantly knew the prank.
Dad's up to something.
Right. He knew the prank.
Yeah.
But in another family that were not pranksters, and somebody picks this up and does it,
Thinks it's a cool idea.
but the kids
They're not in on the prank.
they're not used to prankster.
They're not in on the prank.
They're not into that. Maybe they're more of the stoic kind of family or whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, it leads to trouble. Oh, so that's so what we do here, folks, in case you're watching it, this is how we have conversations. We clear up the shared purpose. We clear up the behaviors to achieve the shared purpose. But this one has the problem of one person, well, they're misaligned purposes.
Well, they didn't even start with a shared purpose.
Right.
They started with a shared purpose that turns out to not be what they're there for.
Yeah. And we, from our experience in doing this all the way to Wall Street, folks, okay, we've done this stuff all the way to Wall Street. And we know that if people don't have their shared purposes lined up, things can go awry.
Yucky stuff will show up.
Yucky stuff starts showing up. And then folks start doing stuff to try to alleviate,
Get
get
relief
from the yucky stuff. And oh boy, now we got a problem on our hands.
Yep.
Which is why we might get called into Wall Street
Yep.
or the many other places we've been called into to do this work. Okay. It's a simple diagram. You just take people through it. You just say, okay, here it is. You all are working together. What's your shared purpose? So for the 8-year-old and the dad, we would have said, what's your shared purpose? But the dad would have taken us aside and said, I can't tell him. I'm lying to him because I'm going to prank him.
Right.
Okay. We would go, okay, you're the dad, whatever, I mean, whatever. Has anybody said it's abusive?
Yes.
Oh, that just occurred to me.
The child abuse stuff showed up.
Yeah, I can
Report him.
see.
Right.
Especially if somebody got way too vigorous with the egg cracking.
Yeah. And there's other things around that you can grab too, because if you're an agitated person, right?
Yeah.
And you get agitated to the point where you begin to act out your agitation. Anything that is within distance of your hands become weapons.
Well, Phil, he used to work in schools
That's where I'm going.
with kids that, let's say, had either legal problems or they were damn close to having legal problems. And we're figuring that if you lied to one of them and then cracked an egg over their head, you might have a different experience.
You may have to go into defensive maneuvers.
So you see, it's all contextual. In that context, this egg crack challenge would be a really bad idea. I mean, it would be a bad idea even for one of their parents to crack the egg over their head.
Right. Oh.
Yeah.
Right.
That could lead to domestic violence, right?
Oh, a whole host of Yucky stuff.
Well, interesting.
Yeah, I thought so.
So the point is shared purpose, bake. Ha ha, that's not it. What was it? Well, I wanted to get a video of me cracking an egg over your head.
Oh, my son. Right.
And then I'm going to put it up on the internet so everybody knows you got an egg cracked over your head, which is another form of abuse.
Yep.
So now if you were being bullied at school, now you're really going to get bullied at school.
Yes.
That's just
Because now there's a good way to get your goat that will be, let's just use the word improved upon.
I can see why people thought that this could lead to some
Linda says I do not have a goat.
You can see where this could lead to unintended consequences.
Yes.
Especially when it goes viral and about 1 million people try it.
Yeah.
There's going to range from ha ha ha, that was fun, to maybe somebody gets killed.
Yeah.
I mean, serious folks. I mean, Phil and I, sometimes I forget, we worked with some pretty hard customers.
We've seen the other side of things.
We've dealt with some really hard folks, and the kind that would kill you for that.
Yeah, or at least attempt to injure you.
Or they'd put you in a hurt way
Yeah.
for that. We wouldn't dare do it. So we're probably a bit cautious for that reason.
Yeah.
We're well aware that how people, they would not take that well.
No, they would not.
One, they've been lied to, and then they've been.
Well, they've had a history of that sort of thing. Yes.
So, one, you lied to them, and two, you made a fool out of them.
Right.
You're done.
And within a relationship where, okay, I'm with this person, so I feel, at least now, I feel safe with this person, and now they're going to turn around and crack an egg on my head.
Right. So there are folks who you really, really, really don't. I mean, including 8-year-old kids that you really don't want to do this.
Yes. Oh, yeah. And younger.
And younger.
They're not going to get the joke.
So our point is, I mean, take egg crack challenge, whatever, fine. Our thing is, if you get in a pickle in your relationships, quick, sit down and ask, what's our shared purpose?
What are we trying to do here?
What are we trying to accomplish? Really, what are we trying to
do
here? Things work out a whole lot better if you have that conversation honestly. We are.
And you're participating like this. There was no participatory, we're going to sit down and do this prank thing here and put it up on TikTok kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, end of the day, I'm not going to do it.
No,
I'm not going to do that.
No, see too many things go. Yeah, Linda's saying right. Yeah,
it's sad joke. Yeah, it's like, I mean, and then I can back off and say, okay, I can see where in some families that really would.
Yeah, like he's saying, we prank each other all
be taken as funny and all. I get it. I get that. I do. I'm not trying to be a total party pooper. But then I know the other end of this. I've worked with people that on the other end of this would not take this well.
Yeah, like Lynn, it's not.
It would not work out well.
Right.
At all. Including grudges being held. And
oh yeah.
Paybacks and yeah. So I can see. So our point is, if you want to discuss something, anything.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I saw a little bit of the Republican debate. Don't pick on me. I just watched a little bit of it. But of course, since I do this work all the time, it occurred to me, wouldn't that be a cool way to start the debate?
Wow.
Let me say, okay, first of all, let's all get some agreements on what our shared purpose here is.
Yeah.
I mean, not your individual purposes. But let's really discuss it in terms of shared purpose. What are we trying to accomplish together? And start the conversation off there. I think that would have been a really interesting conversation, and I probably would have watched the debate longer.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, that would have been like, oh, this is going to be interesting.
I mean, and then if the Democrat, I guess maybe they won't have a debate, but in the future they will. And that's the same thing. They just start, what's our shared purpose? Let's get that cleared up right away. First thing, let's get that cleared up. And you say, well, why is that? Well, then you can always refer back to the shared purpose.
Yep.
So when everybody's having knocked down, dragged down, fights and all this,
Disagreements.
Disagreements, and they've gotten upset, people can go, time out. What's our shared purpose?
Let's come back over here.
Let's go back over there. Works out for you. So, however, that discussion requires honesty. I guess that's why I'm picking on the lie, as shared purpose conversations require honesty.
That would be a quality of the shared purpose conversation, of
Right.
any shared purpose conversation.
Now, I'm sure that will ruin a practical joke,
Oh yeah.
but I don't deal in practical jokes, so I don't. Well, see, because the joke for that was for the dad's benefit. It wasn't
Absolutely.
for the benefit.
Total imbalance of power here.
Right. That's the problem is that was for the dad's benefit.
Yeah.
And maybe the kid comes along and has a good time, and maybe not. So if you're going to do a shared purpose discussion, folks, be honest. I mean, it's okay if you forget a shared purpose. We all do that.
Yep.
You're just like, oh man, that one slipped my mind. Yeah, that's a shared purpose too. Great.
Yep.
That's fine. But yeah, you ought to be honest. That'd be like having a boss at work,
Yeah. Yeah, right.
They lie to you about the shared purpose. Like, well, that's not going to work out. That's going to lead to all kinds of problems. Now, what in organizations that Bill and I work with and do, it's just people don't talk about shared purpose. They just don't talk about it. And that's what leads to the problems, because people are just wandering around, sort of kind of maybe doing shared purpose, but it's not well aligned. It's not an efficient way to do work.
No.
Not even a pleasant way to do work. And by the way, when you ask people in a work setting, I mean, and this is like 100%, you'll say, what's your shared purpose? Somebody will chime in and say, to have a nice workplace.
Yeah.
Collegial workplace. Essentially 100% of the time you will hear that. Well, you're not going to get a very collegial workplace if you're lying to each other about what the shared purposes are. So back to probably trouble starts when you lie. Start with a lie like that. Which is
that does set up for a whole different set of consequences.
So in reality, the egg crack challenge started with a lie.
Yep.
Whoops. No wonder some people got upset with that.
Oh, people got their shorts up in a bunch very quickly.
Well, I get it. I get
Yeah.
it. But I haven't seen it. Phil at least watched the video. I haven't heard. This topic was recommended to us.
Yeah, I only watched it because it was recommended to us, so I thought.
And see,
all
by
right.
the way, folks, this is an example. It's like I don't need to have experienced any of this at all to talk about it.
Right.
Because I can diagram it. Like it's diagramming behaviors. The intent
and
of the
asking
behavior.
questions.
So first you have the intent of the behavior, and then you have the behavior, And then you say, well, did what I do succeed? Did it work?
Is it
The way,
lined up?
is it lined up? Did it work? None of us get 100% on that. We-
Nope.
but if I'm working with somebody else, things just aren't going to work out if we're not lined up on shared purpose. A couple, some of you may be married or something. You, by definition, have a shared purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah, any two people have that are connected in any way, shape, or form have a shared purpose. It's really amazing
Yeah.
How quickly it can be said that the entire population of humans on the planet Earth have a shared purpose. And why? Because we're all in the same sphere,
Spinning.
spinning about in space. That's why. So we're born into that shared purpose. But then maybe you have a shared purpose of your community. You have shared purposes in states and countries and all that kind of stuff. So you can have these discussions about shared. They're actually pretty cool. They don't take very long and gets people lined up and going. But say the dad didn't sit down and talk with, well, he did. He just lied to him. He
Yeah.
said our shared purpose is to make something.
Yeah.
And that
And
was a
son
lie.
said, okay.
Right. And then he switched it to, I'm going to have fun cracking an egg over your head.
Yep.
Yeah, it just, so that's fun. That's fun. We do this. We'll do more of this. We'll take something that was popular and we'll look at
Yeah,
it.
anything going on out there.
But just remember, shared purpose goes in the lower right. Yucky stuff, fear, anxiety, that stuff goes in the lower left. Upper left is where you get relief from,
Relief moves.
like run away or do whatever. And then upper right. So then we could ask the Father, if he were here, we'd say, well, right before you were going to crack the egg over your son's head, what do you think your intent was? Was it to accomplish a shared purpose with your son? Or was it to get some relief from anxiety or something? What do you think? What do you think your motivation was? Right?
Yeah.
In acting, the actor will always wants to know what's the motivation of the
Right.
behavior. And they need it to act well. Well, it's the same here. It's important to know your motivations.
Yeah. And not assume the motivations of the others.
Oh, rats. You mean I just can't assume other people's motivation? I'm being, yeah.
Which is why we ask the question.
This is why we ask. All right.
Why we really don't know?
Why are you here? I mean, Phil, this to go back, Phil in school. So you ask the classroom of kids.
Oh, yeah.
So they're in history class. Well, what's your shared purpose? So the teacher's up there going, they're here to learn history.
Yeah.
Kid says, I'm here because my father was beating the shit out of me at home and I showed up here to get away from it. Oh.
Or I'm here because my girlfriend told me that if I didn't come to school today, she wouldn't go out with me tonight.
You get that kind of responses.
What you hear.
Now, those may or may not be a shared purpose.
Yeah.
But they'll still tell you that kind of stuff.
It's why they're sitting there in front of you.
And you realize, well, my classroom ain't all about history.
Yeah.
There's some different agendas going on here, right? And the more you get those agendas on the table, we're not going to diss them.
Nope.
We're not going to diss them. But
there are legitimate reasons for being there.
Right. Now we know. Okay.
Thank you for letting me know.
So now, by the way, folks, we can quickly say, well, we're all here for safety.
Yeah.
Bingo. Yeah.
Yeah.
So part of our shared purpose, total aside from history, is that we're all safe. Yeah. We can buy into that. Cool. Okay. So now we get, so That's what I mean by shared purpose. You have the discussion. And in the
That's
TikTok challenge video, the egg crack challenge, we didn't have a
no,
clear,
no.
honest sharing of purpose. Okay. Well, the next time he goes about doing that, he can have that conversation. But I will totally admit it will ruin the practical joke.
Yeah, it won't.
So
It's not going to land the same way.
I don't have an answer for you there, folks.
Nope.
I don't. Uh,
Well,
I,
other than there's lots of ways to have fun.
I was going to say I have a lot. I'm a bit of a jokester,
Yeah, there's like a whole
but
world of ways to have fun.
I do not do that stuff.
Yeah.
I do not. Early age, for whatever reason, I opted out of that.
It's just not cool.
I don't.
Not cool to.
I didn't like to be on the receiving end of those, and I certainly didn't dish them out. So, but I have a lot of fun. So apparently you can have fun without that.
It is possible.
So if you want to have a conversation, you can do this too. There's no limits on the diagram. I created it. I did the diagram. It's called the matrix. This is the one where you ask pro-social. You want to use it, go for it. Have a blast. Use it. Spread it around. Good thing to talk about with folks. What's our shared purpose? Getting a conflict? Stop.
Yep.
What's our shared purpose? I'm not kidding, folks. It works like a charm.
Oh yeah. Back to the classroom. Same thing. There's conflict showing up in the classroom.
Well, everybody, time out.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Let's
And
go back.
anybody in the room can say, "What? Wait a minute. Can
Well,
I?"
that's the other thing, by the way, folks, is in a classroom setting, even in a classroom setting, all students can say, time out. Let's do the shared purposes.
Fully empowered.
Right. Everybody is empowered to do that.
Unlike that kid who didn't have really a choice, because as his dad said to him, "We're going to do this prank, and in the prank, I'm going to, smash this egg on your head. What do you think?" And the kid didn't have the opportunity to say, "No, I don't want to do this."
Yeah. He did not. They didn't have a shared purpose.
Nope. And that now, this is where it all ends up. Now, shared purpose is a mess.
Oh. So from our looking at things from shared purpose point of view, you can't do this.
No.
You don't.
It's not working for shared
It's not
purpose.
going to work. Won't work. Well, there you go. It was fun. And
Yeah.
the other thing is I know something about the egg crack challenge.
Yeah. You now have been informed.
I'm blissfully unaware of a lot of stuff. And so I fiddle with guitars and piano and honeybees and border collies and stay away from social media and stuff. I do like keeping up on the news, but I'm not good at listening to opinions. So the people say, well, I like, X news channel or X. Well, what they're really saying is I like their opinions.
Yeah.
Well, I just want news. I just want to know
Tell me what's going on.
this happened.
Yeah.
That I like that. But then once they get into this is our opinion of what happened, I don't know. Or even better, let's predict what we think might happen.
Oh.
Great.
That's a lot of fun.
That gets me clicking off.
Yeah. And to do that, I brought in these 8 talking heads here to weigh
And
in.
we're all going to talk about our different ideas about what might happen.
Yeah.
And Kevin has this better idea. I want to wait till it happens.
Really.
And then I'm going to listen to the news and they're going to tell me this happened. Because that's it. I just want to know that. I want to know what happened.
Check that box off.
I get bored with opinions really quick. So, but I love doing shared purpose work. So that's a cool thing.
Oh, it's very rewarding.
Very rewarding work. If you
It
want
really
to,
brings people together.
and it's not hard work to get into, folks.
Nope.
It requires that you say, what, well, you can draw that diagram and then ask, what's our shared purpose? Or what's your shared purpose? Have a discussion. They're always interesting discussions. I have had a many of like married couple, and you ask that question, and they go, "Wow,
Yeah.
wow,
Hadn't thought about that before.
yeah." The whole thing.
That's an interesting question.
They'll even say, "Well, that sounds like it's sort of important."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then they look at each other, right? Okay, well,
And they have the discussion about
Yeah.
shared purpose.
guess now's a good time as any.
All right, and it's just cool. It's not dry at all. It's really cool. See
It
people
really
do
is.
it.
It really is. Yeah.
It just doesn't lead to practical jokes. So
No.
doesn't do that. Oh well. Anyway, we'll go on about our business. But
Oh yeah.
we'll keep doing our shared purpose matrix stuff. And I hope all of you out there do it too.
Please.
Bye, folks.
Have a good one.